Good evening. We are back. Another mock draft. Finishing these up. Not many more of these because season is here, right? 2 weeks from today, the official start of the season. Pretty exciting.
Hey, Chris.
What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Maybe a little tired, but other than that, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm good. Busy, getting ready for the season.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. I just want to get the first game over with, though. Not looking forward to that. But other than the first game, I'm happy.
It's Bucks. You guys play the Bucks?
Yeah, we're gonna get curb stomped by the Bucks in the kickoff game. But after that, I'm happy for the season.
What's up, Roberto?
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just gonna get in my car pretty fast.
What happened? Somebody was at the 3 and then they just left.
I don't know. Well, someone else is there.
Yeah, I think that's Michael from YouTube. What is his name? Michael Vix?
I can't see what the rest of it says.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I have a guess, but yeah.
Michael Vick's dog ring. That's the name. All right.
Oh God. I figured it had something to do with dogs.
Yeah, of course. All right, we need one more at the 8. One more.
You said this week is the last week of mocks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sunday is the last day. Awesome. Because earlier today, I finally had an opportunity to update my rankings, and so now I'm not going to be completely in the dark like I was the last few drafts.
That's good.
So
All right, there we go.
All right, awesome.
We're just waiting on Mike. All right, he's here. All right, here we go. Tough decisions here at the 1-1. I haven't had the 1-1 in a long time.
Yeah, there's going to be a few guys, in particular guys throughout this draft who I'm going to watch really closely, just see where they go.
This is like this is the format we did all off season. This 2-3-1, two running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex, 1 tight end.
Okay.
So it's not quite like our draft on Thursday is going to be, but kind of close.
Because that's 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, right?
Yep, 3 wide receiver, 2 flex. That is a pretty deep league.
That's interesting. What made you and Pierre? Because I remember, if I remember correctly, the vote was tied, right? So what made y'all pick that one as the tiebreakers?
I asked Pierre, and that's what he picked. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I wasn't going to pick the other side and have another tie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I personally voted for the 1 flex, but honestly, I'm fine with either one.
Roberto, you're on the clock.
I know, but I'm trying to see how I feel about this bit.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you knew. You got 1 second. Okay.
I make you happy, Chris.
All right.
Let's see.
You made the right pick there. Yeah, because if you didn't take him, I was gonna take him. So
What's up, Mike?
So, sorry I'm late.
No worries.
Last
right.
week of drafts.
Last week of drafts. Although then we have our draft Thursday.
Yep.
That's a big one.
That's why I took the 6. I'm trying to practice for it. Ugh.
Adams at the 8. I like it.
That's a very super spicy pick right there.
I know that Derrick Henry is not PPR friendly, but when he falls to you at the 6, so I feel gross not taking him.
Yeah, I might if it was like if this was our actual draft on Thursday and Henry and Eckler were there, I'd probably take Eckler.
If you were at the 6 and you had to choose between them.
Yeah, I'd probably take Eckler.
Yeah.
I know most people would be like, that's crazy. You got to take Henry there, but
Well, I know you are an Eckler fanboy, so
that's true.
I understand that a little bit. I still think you're crazy, but if anyone, I would probably take Aaron Jones because he consistently puts up top 5 upside. So
Yeah, I just feel like I have Aaron Jones right after Eckler, so it's not like I'm low on Aaron Jones or anything.
yeah,
He's he does. I just feel like he doesn't give you those. I mean, he had that 140-point week last year, but I feel like he doesn't have a lot of those huge weeks. But we'll see. We'll see this year. Maybe he scores more touchdowns. I just worry that Aaron Rodgers is going to do another FU to the Packers and just call his own number every time they get close to the goal line again.
that's true. I'm so mad about the 6. I'm like, I can't like any higher or lower. Like I probably would have been fine, but just like right smack dab in the middle, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, 6 is bad. I have the 8. That's bad. 6, 7, 8 are the 3 worst spots for sure. For sure. Nick's got the 1-1, the best spot.
yeah, that made me so happy when I saw that.
That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Like this whole off season, I've just been every time I've mock draft, I've just like randomized 1 through 12 and just drafted. But oh man, can't believe it.
Yeah. Especially against this group. I can draft okay. Like I'm in a super flex league and I had to draft from the 6 and I was like, oh, I'm screwed. And I put together this insane team that I'm really happy about. But against this group, yeah, it's gonna be tough for us for sure. It's gonna be tough.
Am I gonna have to do it?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I mean, you almost have to.
It's ridiculous. I have to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh. Even though I never think starting running back is a good idea, like it's a mock draft, who cares? But
Yeah.
Well, I usually agree with you, but when you get 2 first-round running backs,
I don't know,
Yeah, I mean,
like thinking about it, like Does taking Nick Chubb over, say, Justin Jefferson, does that give me that huge of an advantage?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, Chubb did average 16 per game last year. It's not like he's terrible. He's just not going to have that massive ceiling of like,
No,
other-
I'm saying Chubb is a top running back. I'm just saying I don't know if having two top running backs outweighs having a top running back and a top wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's really going to come down to who do you get after this?
Yeah.
Like, if you end up with 3 or 4 decent receivers, you're gonna be really happy. If you end up with, terrible wide receivers, you're gonna regret it. So, which there's still some really good wide receivers on the board. So, it's interesting to see how things have started to like normalize. Although Godwin, I think was pretty early. What's your reasoning for Godwin at the 3-4, Roberto? Can you hear me? Maybe you can't hear me.
Hey, yeah, I can hear you, but you know what? I trust Godwin compared to Evans, and I don't know. I just feel like CD Lamb to me was my next pick. I could have picked him, but I mean, I was looking at Hard Knocks, and it just convinced me so much to not go that way. Because Ezekiel Elliott looks amazing. So I don't know. I just uneducated.
Uneducated, okay.
I kind of get what people have been saying about Antonio Brown possibly getting more attention if he plays all next season. But I think that comes at more of a detriment to Godwin than Mike Evans.
Yeah, I agree. I think. I mean, I think the Lamb hype is a little out of control, but I think where he went here is okay. Like in a lot of drafts, he's going after Keenan Allen, which I think is out of control.
People think he's going to be like a top wide receiver.
Which I mean, he could, but I'd rather just take Amari Cooper 10 picks later. It will probably be just as good.
Right.
Probably thinking about it, I probably should have went CD Lamb. No.
Yeah, I think I definitely have CD over Godwin. Even Woods, I didn't even have Woods or Evans over Godwin. I also have Deontay Johnson over Godwin, but that's a little closer to me. But I think Deontay Johnson's gonna have a huge year.
Have you guys released your top 25 wide receivers? Maybe I should have looked at that video before I even drafted.
We did, but we actually are gonna on Monday and Tuesday we're gonna do our final top 24 running backs and top 24 wide receivers. But we did do it like a month ago. A lot's changed, especially at running back. In fact, we already recorded the running back one, and now we have to re-record it because of the Etienne injury and the Sonny Michel trade.
When are you going to release that?
Monday.
My home league's drafting on Sunday.
You can beat your home league without our rankings.
Yeah, I know. Clapping with the 0 RB.
Lock it at the 4-3. Okay.
How about Kittle at the 4-2? What the heck?
Yeah, that was great value. there that Arsenal got. But I mean, I'm not terribly high on Kittle, but I still think he's a solid mid to late third.
Yeah. Where's
Where's what?
where's Clapham? Excuse me, drafted on Thursday. You guys know?
Let me look. I think he has. I remember he was complaining about his spot, so I don't think. I think he had like the 8 to 10 or somewhere, but I can double check.
I think he has a 10. I think he has a 10. I think he has a 10, which is probably why he jumped to the 10 here to practice a little.
Yep, he has a 10 spot.
Want spicy?
Okay. Oh
Ooh,
man, that's
Wow.
that. You weren't kidding. You weren't kidding. You were bringing the heat, all right.
what do I do here?
Realistically, I probably would have gone. I would have gone Sutton, but figured I already went RB. I might as well shoot up Davis's ADP a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. I was thinking about him, Roberto. That's a good pick.
There he is.
James Robinson.
There he
Okay.
is.
I was curious where he was going to go. I thought about taking him at the 4-8, but I didn't want to like take him and have that be too early and throw off my judgment of him. So I wanted to lay off and just see where he would end up anyway.
I really would have liked it if Montgomery had fallen to me.
Do you think that's a fair spot for Robinson, kind of the 4th round near David Montgomery?
I have him after Montgomery, but yes, I think it's fair.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna say that's a crazy pick.
So you consider him about the same tier, same value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured he would have gone right after him, but I thought he would have gone around the same time too.
This is a problem, man. Running backs are drying up now. They keep getting hurt or losing their jobs. Damn.
You know you want Damian Harris.
No, I'm going wide receiver again. I mean, I know who I want here, but I just feel like it's so early. But I know with you guys, he won't make it back to me. So
I think I know who it is.
That Corey Davis pick's got you
Yep.
questioning.
there's no way. I mean, that's so ridiculously high for Curtis Samuel, but there's no way he's making it back to me.
Yeah. I can second that.
I just don't. I mean, all the running backs left are just like all the same to me now.
All right, I joined the Zoom. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what's up, Michael? How you doing?
Hey, good. So it says that there's a question on Galladay. Is he hurt with anything or what?
Yes.
Is it?
He's over,
Right?
yeah. A, he's overrated. B, he's got a terrible quarterback, and C, he has a hamstring issue. So
Good thing Stinger's on the chat. He'd be crying right now.
So is Edwards-Helaire going to be good to go, or because I feel like it's kind of a roller coaster with him?
Yeah, it sounds like he's fine.
Okay. What should I do here? Devonta Smith is going to be my pick. I'm gonna go here.
Oh, sniped twice.
Man, only in our drafts. You see these guys in the 5th round. Only in our drafts is J.K. Dobbins a 5th round pick.
Oh man, he's usually most drafts he's what, a second, third rounder?
Yeah.
I mean, partly because this is 3 wide receivers, but a lot of leagues, in my opinion, overvalue outside of the top running backs, of course. Maybe like after maybe like the top 10, top 12, most leagues tend to overvalue running backs.
Yeah. All right, let's see if I want to see Clappin take Galladay here. Go 5 wide receivers with Galladay as your wide receiver 5. I don't usually take early QB, but Mahomes to 5'8". I can't complain about that either, by the way.
Oh no.
Really good.
Especially considering even in our drafts, he usually goes as soon as the 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing about our drafts too, is that we usually take quarterbacks so much later than most.
Whoa!
Okay.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Did he mishear you?
Oh,
Just
Some
had to
Callaway.
one up the Corey Davis pick.
Dear God.
whoa, Marquez. Wow.
I mean, I like Callaway, but god damn.
Wow.
And I want him to come on here and explain himself.
I mean, I
Wow.
get that he looks like he's going to be the top guy there, but you don't. I mean, okay.
I mean, but here's the thing. We haven't really seen
You've seen 2 games, 2 preseason games.
and Traquan Smith hasn't been healthy. Now I'm not like a huge Traquan Smith guy.
I agree. Like you take a shot on him, but I wasn't expecting the 5th round. Man, I thought I was spicy with Corey Davis.
That was pretty spicy too. Swift at the 6'2". That's insane. I don't even like Swift, but oh my goodness.
Swift, Sanders.
I don't. Well, there we see Henderson.
Oh, does he not know about the
I don't know.
move?
So now that he's been picked, And Kareem Hunt, finally. I thought I was gonna have to take him. Okay, hold on. Everyone's freaking out about Sony Michel. I don't think I think it hurts his value a little bit, but I don't think unless Henderson gets hurt that Henderson loses the starting role. I don't know. I just think that they just like considering that they like the terms of the contract was like 2 conditional late round draft picks for next year. Like this is all just they're all just betting that he like gets hurt. Sonny Michel gets hurt at some point this season because he hasn't looked good. Like he keeps getting hurt. Like they kind of been putting feelers out for him to get traded. I don't know. I'm not that worried about Henderson losing that much value.
I think the problem for me is even when it was just Henderson, I was like, he's probably only looking at 15 touches a week because they're going to be a very pass heavy offense, and they're going to mix in Jones and Funk. They're not just going to give all the work to Henderson. But I was like, you know what? In that offense, that's okay. Now with Michel, what 12 touches, maybe 11, 12 touches. I mean, Michel is going to get some, and I think they're still going to use Jones and Funk at least a little bit. So that's why I'm like lower on him now. I would definitely take Hunt over him now for sure.
Yeah, especially in PPR.
I mean, I'm okay with these guys, I guess. I don't love.
Okay, I can't turn down this value here.
Yeah, it's good.
Someone have a monkey in the background? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's my wife playing with our puppies.
Oh, okay. That's one thing about puppies is they're always full of energy.
Yeah.
You think they'd eventually get tired and sleep, and then they keep going and keep going. And
Pretty much.
yeah, one of our dogs, we had him since he was a week old, and he's
Wow.
he's 8 now. But it was crazy. Puppies are a lot of work.
Man, Pitts is a 7-7. It's not bad.
Well, because Stinger isn't here to take him in the 4th round.
Are y'all thinking Chark or Marvin Jones is going to get more value?
Marvin Jones.
Well, value as a whole, or value for their position, or value for their ADP.
I think Jones is going to outscore him.
Really?
Yeah, we saw. To be honest, I didn't pay much attention to the second preseason game, and in that first preseason game, he was the one. I think the problem for DJ Chark is going to be he's pretty much missing all of camp, and he's missing all these valuable snaps to get a connection with Trevor Lawrence that Chenault and Jones are getting. So I think Chark's going to be third now. Wow, Cheeks. Now he's going Myers in the 7.
He's just going to inflate everyone's ADP.
Getting all the preseason heroes.
I mean, Holiday at the 7-11 got, wow.
I'm out.
I mean, the preseason is helpful for, getting an evaluation of how guys are going to be used,
Yeah.
and give you a preview. But I mean, it's not the end all be all. I think people a lot of times are way too reactionary about what happens in one preseason game.
Yeah, that I agree with, but I think it's just bad for Chark missing this camp with his rookie QB. Like, it's not bad for Chark in the sense that, like, Chark could miss all of camp and he'll be fine.
Oh no, I didn't disagree with you on that. No, I agree, because I thought you were talking about Chenault, not Chark, and so I was so confused. But no, I agree with you. Jones is going to overtake Chark. Well, how do you know it's going to be Lawrence? I thought it was an open competition.
Well, no, he finally said the other day that it's Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, did he? Oh, did he really? Okay.
Which is ridiculous because since it was a competition, he had Minshew and Lawrence splitting first team reps all camp.
What?
So instead of Lawrence getting more first team reps, even though we all knew it was going to be Lawrence.
That's so stupid. Like,
that's just like ego controlling.
Maybe. It's just, I mean, when you're talking about like a top 5, top 10 overall pick, they're going to be the
talking about the number 1 pick.
Yeah, the number 1 pick, especially, they're going to be the starter. Like, come on, don't.
Yeah, you need to give him every rep you can get.
Yeah, exactly. Don't beat around the bush. Be honest. Get him the rep. Like you said, get the reps he needs. The NFL, especially for a QB, is a very different game than college. He needs to be out there every second he can. I mean, that's more of that's a pretty common thing, more common thing in college, right? Being a little bit more open to competition at the positions.
Yeah, that's the
exactly.
This isn't. I don't know. I'm not feeling good about the Urban Meyer. I mean, okay, it's only preseason. We haven't seen him it's still early, but so far not feeling great about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I want to reserve judgment till they play some games and see more of his in-game decision making. But I agree that some of his ways of going about things don't tend to mesh well with the NFL.
And I don't know. I don't really think it's cool to do that to Trevor Lawrence or to Gardner Minshew either.
No. No, exactly. You're like,
especially Gardner Minshew, like drafting his replacement and then like dangling a carrot out in front of him, like,
yeah,
oh yeah, there's this competition, like, oh yeah, maybe you can, and then pump him up like there's actually a chance. Just like, even though the whole time that there's no way he's gonna do it.
Exactly.
Even though I actually like Gardner Minshew, I just think he's in a horrible situation. But
oh yeah, Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Because I mean, he was with Jacksonville in a terrible offense, and then their offense actually improved significantly, but he's the one getting the boot.
I really regret that Josh Jacobs pick now.
I mean, at least you had the 4 wide receivers from the 2nd to the 5th.
Yeah, but I could have gotten Antonio Brown, Darnell Mooney. Who else did I like there? Even Fuller, even Marvin Jones. Because it was between Jacobs and Mostert for me when I picked Jacobs, honestly, and I was like, I can't really pass off Jacobs here. This is like ridiculous value. But it doesn't help you when Josh Jacobs. He's not really a value when he's getting you 8 points.
Yeah,
So
let's get you those solid, boring 8 points a game.
yeah, don't do anything.
So,
Oh,
Chris,
okay.
I know that the Tampa Bay, the running backs, I know that I personally wouldn't touch any of them in my drafts and any of my mock drafts, but who do you think would have the better chance of being a starter?
Whichever one's healthy. I think it's going to be Jones and Fournette handling the carries with Gio in for most of the passing down. So that's just why I'm not drafting Jones or Fournette, because they're probably just going to be splitting carries.
Okay.
Now, if one of them goes down, then great. Assuming you have the other one, of course. But
Now that you have Geo in there, that just
that's why I like
the
just
whole
taking
back.
Gio. That's why I like just taking Gio, one of my last picks, because we know we've seen it every year with Mixon and before with Jeremy Hill and stuff. If he can handle carries, like he's not going to get 20 carries, but if let's say Ronald Jones goes down, Gio can slot into that role and still be the pass catcher. So to me, it's like Gio or nobody out of that backfield.
So like a solid running, like kind of last round running back pickup.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Pierre's back, so now we got Dylan and Amon-Ra St. Brown next 2 picks. Let's go in the.
Would he go somewhere?
I don't know.
Oh, it looks like, was his wife picking for him again?
Yeah, and she did a great job, I think.
Wait, which picks did she make?
All the way up to Dylan, but he told her to pick Dylan. She did Aaron Jones, those 4 wide receivers, Gaskin, Sermon. That's a great start.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Well, I'm sure being married to someone who plays fantasy football a ton helps.
I don't know. My wife doesn't know anything about it.
Oh,
I think I'm going to make her draft in our home league this year. I'm just going to give her a cheat sheet. I'm going to say you have to draft your own team this year.
get her in practice.
Yeah.
My dad's in my home league, and he's been bugging me about giving him tips and stuff. And I'm like, go on the YouTube channel. These guys that I've been drafting with, and they've been posting these YouTube videos, and you can even watch the streams. And he's like, I don't have time for that. I just need you to tell me He's like, here's the number 1 pick. Who are you picking? I'm like, you just go on and watch the videos. he just wants me. He just wants me to make all the picks for him.
Yeah, that's
Only
funny.
have to put in work.
We were at my niece's. She's going away to college, and my dad and my uncle were there, and we're all in the home league. And my dad's always bad. He's always like, last year was the first year he didn't finish last. And my uncle was like asking me this stuff, and then my dad's like, hey, so your videos, like, do I actually need to watch them for you to get the ads? And I'm like, it's whatever. And then my uncle was like, maybe you should watch them just so you'll be better at fantasy football. Like, through the ads, just watch them so you actually know what you're doing. Usually draft his favorite team is the Rams. He's one of those guys who'll have like, he'll draft a bunch of Rams players and then he'll make ridiculous trades to go get like, Greg Zuerlein or whoever the kicker is or something. It's just like,
Yeah. I think my dad drafted like Kenyon Drake in the first round last year, just because he remembers in like 2018 he did really well. So he's like, I don't know, I didn't see any other guys that I really liked, and I'm like, so then I'm like looking back at the other running backs he could have taken. And I'm like, yeah, Kenyon Drake did pretty well overall in the season, but like, look at these other guys you could have picked. He's like, yeah, but look, Kenyon Drake did all right, so I don't know what the problem is. Like, Dad, this is a game about like squeezing as much point potential as you can out of a player. He doesn't have the time to watch a 2-hour draft stream.
When I was in Washington this summer, I was talking to my uncle about fantasy, and he plays, but he's pretty casual with it. And he was complaining about how he like always misses the playoffs and always goes like 4-9 and 3-10. And so like I was asking him about like what he does, like what his strategy is. And sure enough, I mean, he doesn't really do much research into players. He has like a set in stone like RB, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. You know what I mean? Like like a set in stone what position he's going to take each round. And I told him my first recommendation was to not do that. Like, it's okay to generally take certain positions in certain spots, but you have to weigh who's there, the relative valuations. And I recommended y'all's channel. I doubt he watched it. Like I said, it doesn't seem like he is super serious about fantasy.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like,
maybe I got you guys another viewer. I don't know.
Well, appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of like how my uncle is. He was like, I went golfing with him, and he's picking my brain about stuff, and I'm like, nah. He's like, gotta get like 2 or 3 running backs. I'm like, no, you don't really have to.
Keep snubbing me tonight, Nick.
Is that the third time now?
Yep.
About to say, when is Aaron Rodgers going to go?
I mean, as you can see, quarterbacks go very late in our drafts.
I think I'll pick Aaron Rodgers over Jalen Hurts, honestly.
That's probably the smart play.
I feel like people are hyping up Hurts too much this season. I don't know if he's going to do good or as good as people expect.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
Yeah, I was just say Chris is like the
I was
biggest.
gonna say that's funny.
I know I am.
That's funny that you say people are hyping up Jalen Hurts, because I feel like all I ever do is argue with people who tell me how bad Hurts is going to be.
I'm not saying he's going to do bad. I think he's just going to do average.
See, my only because the thing is, like, I'm pretty high on Hurts for fantasy, just not so much in real life, and I worry that he could get pulled if he's like throwing too many picks, and might be put in, or they might put Flacco in occasionally. That's my worry.
Yeah, I mean, I get that for sure. But Joe Flacco, I mean, he'd have to be really bad for them to go to Joe Flacco.
He's a
Like,
Super
Joe
Bowl
Flacco.
MVP,
What, 10 years ago? How long ago was that?
something like
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
Even in the preseason, oh my, did you see that game? Did you watch the game against the Patriots where Jalen Hurts was like the late scratch because he was sick?
No, I
Dude,
only
the-
watched the Cowboys ones.
The Eagles offense couldn't do anything. I mean, they were
Oh,
so
really?
bad. Joe Flacco attempted 17 passes and had 89 yards with an interception. That's like, what is that? That's 6
Bad.
yards a pass or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
It's horrible. Like they're like, yeah, I mean, if Jalen Hurts is that bad, then he's going to be a fantasy bust. He's going to be a complete fantasy bust. Yeah, I'm not worried about Flacco. I'm worried about some crazy Deshaun Watson trade in the middle of the season, or I'm worried that the Eagles are going to not use him. Mark Sanchez, wow, that's a first.
Well, they took out a lot of the retired players from here. I'm surprised we saw one again.
I'm also worried that the Eagles will just ask him to stand there like a statue and throw the ball instead of using him to his strengths, but we'll see.
Who even is their coach now?
Nick Sirianni.
Okay. I don't know anything about him.
He's with the Chargers, comes from that like West Coast offense.
Okay, so that should be good, right?
It should be. But a lot of coaches have their system. They're
Yeah.
not willing to budge on it. They're like, this is my system. This is what we do. This is what we expect the quarterback to do. This is what we expect everybody to do. So. All right. Who do I take my last pick? I really like him. Well, I got to go with my boy. Got to go with my boy Gio.
I mean, hey, last round can't hurt. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. He's got the good pass catching upside, especially if Jones or Fournette goes down.
Well, I think I don't want to talk up Gio too much because then you guys will take him on Thursday, like in the 10th round or something crazy. But I think Gio can be like Tom Brady's James White.
It could be.
I think he's going to have plenty of value even without injuries. I mean, Tannehill, Brady. Last round's really good.
I feel like I should have picked Tim Tebow for my last pick for the memes.
I mean, do people really think he was going to make the team? Because to me, it seemed pretty obvious from the get-go he was there more to
Also,
hype
has
up the
anybody
team
asked?
for media.
Has anybody asked the question? Does Tim Tebow need to be 300 pounds of solid muscle? Is that really helping him? Like, wouldn't he be better off being like 220?
And being faster, yeah.
Yeah, like what the hell, dude? Like, are you a bodybuilder? Or are you like, why do you need to be freaking like have arms as big as Saquon's thighs? Like, dude, just
Did he just think that there was no way that he was going to be used as a pass catching tight end, and he just went straight to be like a blocking tight end?
And
I
he can't
don't know.
block.
And then we all saw how horribly
Yeah.
that went with that video of him just like spinning around and falling.
Yeah, that wasn't even he couldn't even be a blocking tight end. So
I feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's trying to go out there and do what he loves, but I mean, I don't know what he's doing now, if he's going to try to get on another team or something, but
Go back to baseball.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fault the effort at all. I mean, he's a hell of an athlete. Tip my cap,
how do
trying.
you, how do you feel bad for Tim Tebow? Like the guy was like a college football god, got to play in the NFL, then got to play minor league baseball when he had no business playing minor league baseball, then got to go to the Jaguars training camp when he had no business being in the Jaguars training camp. Like, what are you feeling bad for Tim Tebow for? Like the guy
I will
guy's had
say,
a pretty good life.
I will say the baseball part though. I mean, he did well enough to stay, and in the minor leagues, especially with an older guy. I mean, if you're not performing at least decently well, you're going to get the boot
But
because they don't
was
want to
he-
waste a spot on a guy that could be a younger up and coming guy. So he at least, I mean, he wasn't spectacular or anything, obviously, but he was well enough to stay.
I mean, like I didn't follow it close enough, and I don't. But was it because he was good enough, or was it because he put butts in the minor league seats that normally aren't there? Sold jerseys that normally don't sell. I mean, I don't know, but
His stats weren't back. I can look them up real quick. Because I that's what my assumption was at first, honestly. But let me see.
all right. Anybody want to take a shot at grading this?
Sure. I'm looking at his stats right now. His last year in AAA was okay, pretty bad, but then year before that, double A and single A, he didn't put up spectacular numbers, but these are definitely serviceable numbers that'll at least keep you in the minors. You won't get cut. So in other words, in the lower levels, he was okay, but once he got up to AAA, which is the highest level of minor league baseball, he
Yeah.
struggled.
Well, yeah, because now you're like one step from the pros.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, give us some grades, Nick. Let's hear it. I can't
All
wait
right.
till you get to Austin's team. Should be fun.
All right. So we'll start with your team. Okay. So got McCaffrey, obviously, that's the pick there. And then you got the ideal start from the one spot. You got McCaffrey, and then you got yourself two stud receivers, McLaurin and A-Rob. And then you again went with Judy and Samuel. Again, maybe a little bit above their ADP, but I probably would have done the same thing there. Because looking at the wide receiver value after them and what would come back to you, don't think there's really anything you would have done differently. Davis as your RB2 is good, especially at 6'12", and then Jacobs is fine. I know you said you regretted that pick, but again, you didn't know who was still going to be there later. Dak, really good value there at the 8'12". If I knew that I could have gotten Dak at the 8'8", I would have held off on Lamar, but again, hindsight's 2020. And Mostert, Shepard and Sanders, I'm not too hot on your wide receiver depth, but the four that you got early on are more than fine. And then you got Ingram and then Gio Bernard. I'd say, I mean, from your starting lineup alone, I would say that would give you at least an 8.5 because you got the number one running back, and then you got two really good receivers, and then two good receivers after that for your wide receiver 3 and flex, and then you got Dak, great value. You got Mike Davis, so good team there. It's kind of hard to mess up the one spot, but nonetheless, really good team. Forest Creek, we got Dalvin Cook, got Keenan, maybe a little early for Amari, and then Demont, Dobbins. That's okay. I mean, I don't mind. I'm not high on Dobbins, but I can't complain about the 5.2. You're looking at Beckham, Brown, Mooney. You're going to have to start. Well, I guess you could flex Dobbins. So still, don't know if I necessarily want to have to start one of those, but between those three, I think you get a decent starter each week. And then you got Russ, really good value there, the 9-2. And then Goddard, I'm off of him, but it's late enough. It's okay. Because I don't know what's going to happen there with Ertz. You got Hines, Booker, Moore. So you got okay depth there. I'd say maybe I'd say that's probably still an 8. I mean, you got two good running backs. You got Cook, you got Demont. Solid wide receivers. And really, the really only complaint would be the wide receivers. But again, between Beckham, Brown, Mooney, you can start one of those guys, be comfortable. So Michael Vick, the world's biggest dog enthusiast. We got Kamara, Waller. We saw Waller creep into the 2. We don't see that too much, but it's the late 2, so I'm not going to complain about that. Cooper Kupp, a little surprised to maybe see him over Lamb, Evans, but if you like him, you like him. J-Rob, good spot there. I thought about taking him at the 4-8. Your wide receivers, this is where I'm a little bit concerned here because you're looking at Cooper Kupp as your 1, which, I mean, considering if you start running back tight end, I think that's okay, but you really just have to be hitting wide receivers hard the whole rest of the draft pretty much. Then you're looking at Robbie Anderson, Deebo Samuel, Russell Gage. Looks like you're gonna probably have to start all of them. Maybe you could work in Gallup in there, maybe Melvin Gordon in the early weeks. Good, decent value there for Herbert, Parker, Warren, Chuba, Tannehill. See this? I mean, you got a good tight end. I really like your running backs, and you got good value at QB. But I'd say this is like a 7 because wide receiver is going to be a bit rough because you're going to probably have to start Anderson, Samuel, and Gage, and that gives me very cold feet. So Roberto, so you got Saquon Gibson. That's a phenomenal start. If I was in his spot, I would have done the same thing. Godwin, Claypool, Smith, good wide receiver core, good value for Murray. I really like Mike Williams there as your flex. Fant is your tight end, so really got a solid starting lineup right away. And then you're looking at Ronald Jones, Zach Moss, Pierce Campbell, Gabe Davis, Madison. I mean, the depth is okay. I'm not terribly high on it, but I think his starting lineup's good enough. I think that gets him, I'd say that probably gets him an 8. I think in terms of his starting lineup, I think he's pretty much equal with Chris's team, but I think Chris's depth kind of gives him an extra edge. And then Mike.
Sweet, thanks. Appreciate it, by the way.
Yeah, of course, always. And then Mike, Derrick Henry, who I personally kind of going back to that discussion early on. I agree with Chris. I would have taken Eckler, but I'm not going to argue against taking Henry there. He's still a phenomenal running back, no question about it. And then you got Nick Chubb, kind of same thing. I mean, I probably would have taken Jefferson or Gibson over him, but again, I'm not going to argue against it. 2.7 is great value for Nick Chubb. And then I like how you kind of hit really hard on wide receivers. You got Mike Evans, Corey Davis. That was an interesting pick. Waddle, Cooks, Fuller, Jones. Out of those 6 guys, I mean, I think you can easily get 4 solid starters there. And then you got Connor Drake, your Dev, Gesicki. And then I'm a little bit worried about him, maybe with Hunter Long, but we'll see what happens. And then you got Lindsey, Tom Brady in the last round. That's really good value there. Let's see, how would I grade this? I'd say this is probably normally I wouldn't be able to give you any more than like a 7 or 7.5 with taking Corey Davis that early, but I think with a lot of receivers you took there, I think you'll still be fine. So I'll still give you an 8 for that.
So my thing, yeah, I knew I was taking him early,
Yeah.
but looking back on it, honestly, like Cortland Sutton's like the only guy that I probably would have taken over him.
Okay.
Like all these other guys are kind of just like meh. Like
But
Corey Davis is like
you
the
wouldn't
most
take
exciting guy for me.
You wouldn't take Claypool or Judy or
No, like I think I probably would have reached for Corey Davis. Either way.
Hey, we all
I
have
don't
our
know.
guys.
I think I'm just excited about Corey Davis this year.
Apparently.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you like him, you like him. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, if that Jets offense is as improved as a lot of people think it will be, I think that's still an early pick, but not by any means a terrible pick. All right, so Ale, we got Eckler, AJ Brown, Woods, Ayuk, Boyd, nice wide receiver core. Got Hunt. This is wide receiver 2. Pitts. This is tight end. That was great value for Pitts. Man, how different my draft would have been if I waited and took Pitts and then waited and took Dak. But like I said, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
And then you got everyone's favorite running back, Damian Harris. And then Lenny, then Aguilar, Rogers, Sammy Watkins. I forgot he was even on the Ravens, to be honest. But then Ty Johnson, I like that Ty Johnson pick. I thought about him in the later rounds because it sounds like he's going to have a sizable role in that New York offense.
Yeah, I can't even get Ty Johnson for free anymore. I gotta stop talking about these
Just keep it all to yourself.
guys.
Let's see. I think, man, I think this is another. Oh man, I think this is another really, really good team. Same thing, kind of like with Roberto's team. I think it's up there. I think Chris is the best team so far. I think it's up there starting lineup wise. But I think, like I said, it's that depth I think just isn't there because I'm not too hot on Damian Harris or Leonard Fournette or Aguilar or Watkins. But still a really good team overall. That's an 8. Should be proud of that. Spartan Dog, is this a new guy?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think we've seen him before.
Okay. So let's see, we got a little bit of a spicy start there with Devontae Adams.
Oh, you don't even know spicy yet.
Yeah, exactly. This is like jalapeno spicy. Some of the other spicy picks, that's like Carolina Reaper. Let's see, Devontae Adams. Then you got JT Mixon. Maybe this is just within our group, but I'm hearing a lot of people going back on Mixon because I've noticed he's starting to rise back up a little bit.
I think Mixon's still. With Mixon, it just comes down to playing all the games.
Yeah.
He's gonna get to work.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So I mean, I think that's okay value there, the 3.8. Then you're looking at more Mahomes, good value there. I wouldn't rule out picking him at that spot ever, even though I rarely ever take QBs that early. Henderson, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. I mean, maybe Henderson will be completely fine, but I wouldn't want to risk it. Shark, kind of similar thing, sketchy situation there. He's looking at Edmonds, Brown, Hardman, Smith, Mark Sanchez. That's
I told you. I told you it's getting spicier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, this is the Carolina Reaper part.
I mean, he could have
Carolina
really, if we really want to like dissect this, he could have probably gotten Sanchez in the 13th. I'm guessing he still would have been there.
Oh, maybe. You never know with these guys. You never know.
True. It's true. But.
Maybe he just had to play it safe there. And then Rashad Bateman. If this is a new guy, I don't want to grade him too harshly. Because like wide receivers got Adams, Moore, but then you're looking at Chark as your wide receiver 3, and you'd have to start him. I wouldn't be too confident in that. Because running back, you got JT Mixon. I mean, if Henderson ends up being okay, I suppose you could flex him or you could flex Edmonds. He did get Mahomes. I mean, I'm not terribly high on Irv Smith, but he's okay. Let's see, what did I give? 'Cause I think I gave him a 7. So I'll give this guy Spartan. I'll go give him a 6.5. And then Pierre. So you said his wife drafted a lot of this team.
Yeah, I think up to Sermon.
Okay, so let's see how Pierre and his wife did. Got Jones, DK, Deontay, Higgins, Chenault. Maybe, well, I was gonna say maybe a little early for Chenault, but considering where those other wide receivers around him, I suppose it's not that early. So good wide receiver
Yeah.
core. What was that?
I was gonna say it's not as early as the next wide receiver off the board, but we'll wait till you get there.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have a fun time grading Austin's team. All right. So Gaskin, this is bad, wide receiver 2. Then he's got some depth there with Sermon. Maybe a little early for AJ Dillon there, Quadzilla. And then Monter St. Brown, Hertz, Michelle, and Logan Thomas and Donovan Peoples Jones. Yeah, I mean, this team's pretty good. I'd say probably another 8. I mean, he's got a good wide receiver core. I know there is some question marks about Gaskin and maybe his viability as your RB2, just because of sounds like they might be running a committee in Miami, if I'm hearing correctly. But I even if there is one, I think he's going to be the number 1 guy. So I'm a little bit worried, but not off of him or anything. And then he's got Sermon. If somehow by the grace of God we're all wrong about Dillon, then he's something too. But yeah, I mean, he's got decent depth there. Interesting pickup there with Michelle. I was curious where he would end up going in these drafts. So 11th round, at least as a base. So I'd say that's another 8 there for Pierre and Mrs. Camus. So let's go to Austin. He's got interesting start here. He's got Tyreek, Ridley, Julio, Lockett. Maybe a little early for Lockett, but you got a strong wide receiver core, obviously starting that way. And then Callaway, Marquez Callaway. Interesting. If he has a number 1 guy in New Orleans and he has little to no competition for catches and Jameis Winston just airs it out like a madman, that could end up being an okay pick. But at the moment, I would say that's definitely, I think it's safe to say that's a reach. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's safe to say that's a reach.
Yeah, other than Mark Sanchez in the 12th, that's the biggest reach of the draft. Although he wasn't done. He wasn't done after that, but
I mean, considering I don't think any of us were even looking at drafting him anywhere near there,
no.
I would call that probably a reach.
Yeah.
So
and then Miles Sanders at the 6'3". I'm not big on Miles Sanders, but 6'3" I think is fine value. But since he started off so aggressively attacking wide receiver, he really has to then change gears and attack running back. And then he took Myers. And I mean, I like Myers, but 7'10", maybe a little early. Same with Terrace Marshall. Ramondre Stevenson is his RB2. What's the whole hype with him? Was he looking good in preseason or something? Because I was hearing there's a lot of hype.
Yeah, he was looking good. And then, of course, with them trading Michelle, he's now behind Harris. So, But he's still behind Harris.
Yeah. I still have a solid rule about never drafting Patriots running backs. So I think it's just the way Belichick uses running backs, honestly. But anyway, that's either here nor there. And then you got Danny Brown, Singletary, Gronk, and then Sam Darnold.
At least he got the Darnold Marshall stack. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got to get stacks. Insert grade here. That's my grade for his team.
Yeah.
We got Arsenal, Diggs, Hopkins, And then Edwards-Helaire, Kittle, great value for Kittle. Jamar Chase. I mean, we've seen Jamar Chase falling a lot. Do you think he should still go later than this, late fifth? I saw there was a little bit of a discussion about it in the chat.
Chase?
Yeah.
I mean, my general rule with the Bengals is I usually take the cheapest one. So in this case, Chase was the cheapest one, so I guess it's okay.
Okay, well, that's one way of looking at it. So yeah, I mean, I've noticed him falling a lot. Sounds like he hasn't been as impressive as many thought. I mean, the Bengals could have, used their heads and taken Penei Sewell. He was right there, and they chose to not take him. So they're going to have to live with that. And Swift at the 6'2", similar with Sanders. Don't like him, but 6'2" is good value. Galladay, I mean, I'm off Galladay, but I'm not going to argue with the late seventh. Andrews, Ruggs, Carter. I was so high on him before, but man, I'm disappointed. I mean, this is the 10th round, so I guess it isn't a terrible pick, but he's now more like a late round or like a last round guy for me. And Pollard, Stafford, Hilton. I would give this maybe a 7, probably a 7.5 because he does have Diggs and Hopkins, two really good receivers. Edwards-Helaire at that spot is fine, and then he does have Kittle, good value for Kittle. You're looking at Chase as your wide receiver 3, Swift as your 2, and then you're having to you're having to flex Galladay. I'll stick with that 7.5. Not a spectacular team. I mean, he's got a couple potentially good depth pieces here, but nothing that really blows me away. And then last, but certainly not least, Frednell. Kelsey, I'm cool with that at the turn. Kelsey Najee, that was an interesting start. See how his wide receivers turned out. He got Thielen, Carson, Juju, Josh Allen, Pittman. So you're having to start. You're going to start Thielen, Smith, Pittman, Juju Smith-Schuster, Pittman. Is Michael Thomas going to even play this year? I mean,
Well, I thought I saw something where Rappaport, but I couldn't find it, said he's eyeing week 4, but that the Saints aren't going to play him until he's 100%. I still think not till second half of the season.
until second half. So yeah. And Brian Edwards, Rager, AJ Green, Murray. Yeah. Yeah. He needed to attack, I think, wide receivers a little bit earlier here. Because I mean, I like Pittman, but I wouldn't want to have to start him. Same with Juju. But he does have Kelsey. He does have both Najee and Carson. So his running backs are good, tight end good, Josh Allen, QB good. But the thing is, I mean, this team as a whole, I don't think would be good enough to have because I'm okay with taking Michael Thomas at that spot if you have a pretty strong team and you can get out and get a few wins early. Because if you fall too far behind, you're going to really have to rely on trying to run the table to make the playoffs. So I don't think Michael Thomas is going to overall help him too much. So I'd say I think I gave the last team a 7.5. So I'll give this team a 7. I just think he's going to struggle a little too much at wide receiver.
All right. I guess I'll do yours real quick here.
All right.
So Zeke, obviously good. Jefferson, Lamb, Sutton, that's nice. Hawkinson, Javonte, Lamar, and that's great value for Lamar. Landry, Moore, Edwards, Williams, McKissick, Tyrell. I do like Tyrell in the last. So I think this is. So I definitely worry about your RB2, which for me is like whatever. And even your flex a little bit. And even though I do like Javonte, I worry that he won't have a lot of value early.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have to be relying on like Gus or Jamal or McKissick, which might not be the best. And then also your flex, you're looking at Landry or Elijah Moore or Tyrell or one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I do worry about that. I kind of wish you didn't go Hawkinson and maybe we had gone like Waddle or Boyd or Chenault or maybe even Callaway if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or even maybe an RB there, like one of the RBs, like I don't know, Gaskin or Hunt or whatever. A little safer. But obviously your first, if Hawkinson ends up being awesome, like some people think he will, then that'll be great. And your first 4 picks were really good. I don't really know the exact grading you gave everybody else. So
Yeah.
I don't know where to fit you in for everybody else. I don't think it's your best team, but I don't think it's a terrible team. So I would probably have this like slightly above middle of the pack. So wherever that is.
That'd probably be like a 7.5.
Yeah.
maybe an 8.
Yeah, it seems about fair. I think your first 4 picks can carry you, and definitely if Hawkinson ends up being like a top 3 tight end, that's going to be huge for you. But I think you're and Lamar, that's great value.
Mhm.
You're gonna struggle, I think, with that RB2 and your flex at least early in the year. So
Yeah, I mean that's always a risk, right? With taking an early tight end,
yeah,
because it gives you an advantage of the position, but then you sacrifice. You usually have to sacrifice something, unless if you get lucky and hit it all right.
yeah. And the problem with it's one thing to sacrifice for like Kelsey or Waller, where it's like, okay, we know those guys are probably going to be really good.
Yeah,
Hawkinson even if Hawkinson's just what he was last year, that's not really good enough.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's the risk. But no, it's not a terrible team for sure.
Okay.
But don't worry, you get the 1-1 on Thursday, so you'll have no problems then.
I hope not. I hope I don't screw it up.
I'm sure you will do just fine. And I'm sure Mike in the 6th there, we'll see what you do. We'll see if you grab Corey Davis in the 4th round there too. That'll be And Michael, appreciate you jumping on. I don't know if you're still on here or not. I see your name, but I don't know if you're still listening or not. But appreciate
Yeah,
you
I'm still
jumping
here.
on drafting. So
Oh, we got someone else in here?
yeah, the Michael Vick's dog ring or whatever. Michael. Yeah.
It's a great name.
Oh, hey, what's up?
All right, guys. So yeah, we got one more mock draft on Sunday, and then that will be it because it's pretty much the season. So hopefully you guys can get on there for one last mock draft of the year. Until next
All right,
year.
Should be able to.
All right, guys. Good job as always. Appreciate you guys being on. Appreciate everybody on the YouTube commenting, asking questions, and we'll see you guys Sunday.
All right, see ya.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.